Alright, so here we have this chart that Bath made. It's a shooting game alignment chart for all the devs, all the main shoot 'em up devs. And he's got some funny memes for us on the outside. Hopefully they're too small and you guys can't see them. On the axes, on the left we have for Chads, on the right we have for Zoomers, on the bottom we have for Boomers, and on top we have for Soys. So this is where like we went off the rails with Bath's chart the first time when we did this last week, because I couldn't wrap my head around these axes. Okay, the pics took you like an hour to find. Was that unpaid time? Can someone donate for Bath's time? He's not a cheap artist. Alright, so we'll go in reverse alphabetical order this time, so it's a little different. And as I add each dev, I will mention some of the games that have made them famous, which you guys will probably know already. So first up, at the end of the alphabet, we have Visco. Who remembers the great Visco? Oh my god, it always stretches. Visco made... Remind me, the original Androdunos, Basara 1 and 2, they're like late 90s, like Psycho type games. Maybe the only dev that was making Psycho clones. I could not possibly have less of an opinion on this company. Viscous vegetable oil, okay. This seems like... You know who I bet likes these games? I bet EC plays these games. So that's just gonna go hard right in here. I'm not looking at the pics until the end. You can look at the pics. Alright, next up at the end of the alphabet we have Video System. Video System is the precursor to Psycho. They made the Sonic Wings series, aka the Aero Fighters series. Probably like the funniest shooting games. I don't know, like the dialogue in Aero Fighters 2 is really, really good. It's really funny. And there's different dialogue for every combination of characters. There's 10 characters. So you've got like 90 different pairings you can have, I think. Something like that. Now maybe it's 45. Video System did not make Kenso Shikigami. I don't know where you got that idea. We'll get to Kenso Shikigami. Settle down over there. Oh, for funniest game. What, you mean like Shikigami 2 and 3? Shikigami 1 is not really funny. Well, at least Hyuga's storyline is entirely serious. Yeah, Shikigami 3 is pretty funny, but it's not funny all the way through. It does have good dialogue, though. Okay, Video System. I don't know, it feels kind of unaligned. They're games that everyone can enjoy. Triangle Service. This is a big who cares. I can't even pretend to care about Triangle Service. Delta Zeal, 12 Zeal, Tri Zeal, something like that. I don't know. Maybe they're good games. I've never played them. I barely even looked into it. I don't think they made that many games. So I would assume that someone up here is playing these in the lightly Zoomer soy category. Yeah, Collision plays everything though. I think they're on Dreamcast, that's why he'd be playing them. Next up, we have Treasure. Treasure is a company that made Sega Genesis games, such as Ronald McDonald's, whatever that game is called, Magic Funland, Gunstar Heroes, Alien Soldier, Guardian Heroes, Rakigaki Showtime, Mischief Makers, Silhouette Mirage, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dynamite Heady, Sin and Punishment Star Successor, Ikaruga, Radiant Silvergun, Bleach, I want to say Bleach Mirror of Fate for Nintendo DS, but Mirror of Fate I think is the Lords of Shadow 3DS game. I don't know, some Bleach game with a subtitle on DS, a Bleach game with a different subtitle on Wii, Geist Crusher, some dinosaur anime game. I missed a couple, but that's most of what they made. So anyway, yeah, Treasure's like pretty, they're a little bit boomer, but they're pretty much the chattest company there is. Yeah, that's kind of easy one to rank, I think. Don't see a lot of arguments going on there.
We're in the land of the birds now.
Okay, cool, another ad. Hopefully it's short, so I don't feel like skipping it. Next up, we have Toaplan, who made Tiger Heli, Twin Cobra, aka Kyokyoku Tiger,
They give seeds to females in a bonding ritual.
Kishazame, aka Flying Shark, Same, aka Fire Shark, Touchin, aka Truxton, Touchin O, aka Truxton 2, Hilifoli, Batsugan, V5, the one that's a vertical Gradius, Slap Fight, is really, that's always a weird name. That it's a reference to something, some real thing about aerial combat, I think, but it's a hard name to remember. They made Snow Bros. So let's see, Toaplan. Oh, they're definitely on the boomer axis. Okay, they're just going here. For boomers and zoomers alike, M2 with their shooting garage collection is bringing them to an entirely new generation. That is not an icon. That is the previous chart. Alright, next up, we got Tecmo. Tecmo, I'm uncomfortable in this chair, hang on. It's better back support, but it just moves around. Alright. Yeah, everyone please greet each other when you enter the chat. It's just polite and it builds a good community. Tecmo. They made Star Force, and I guess Final Star Force. I don't know that for a fact, but I would assume they made Final Star Force. No one plays Star Force, so that would be for Chads and for Boomers. I don't want to like get into the whole ranking them by non-shooting games. It's too opens the door to too much crap that I don't even know anything about, except for Snow Bros. Next up, Technosoft. Very small Technosoft logo. Technosoft made the Lightning Force, the Thunder Force games, including Lightning Force. They made Elemental Master. What else? Air Duel? Is that? There's no Hyper Duel. Yeah, Air Duel I think is Capcom. I made Hyper Duel. Never played that one. Yes, thank you. Didn't put any games on these lists. In fact, why are you even bringing that up? Like, I'd completely forgotten for like 6 months now that that was a thing that existed. Thank you for reminding me. As a result of that, Fractal is getting added to the chart. Oops, he's on the Technosoft layer. The Axes are screwing with me. No, you're wrong. They are the way that they're supposed to be. I'm not sure why being a Zoomer means you can't be a chat. The thing is that the chart is, it's not serious. You guys are overthinking it a little bit right now. Hate to say it. You're acting like a bunch of shooting game players.
Y'all ready? Never let go.
Yeah, it basically just works as you pick one axis and rank it on that axis. It doesn't really work as a two-dimensional image. Oh, the ads. Makes me want to kill myself.
Is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over. It is not a rescue medication.
Golem, give me a... thanks for coming by, CPS. I'll throw you on the chart at the end. Golem, throw me an OST to put on here. Not an obvious one. Okay, we were doing Technosoft. Technosoft, I don't know. It feels like a Zoomer company. Time tracks. Is that Tim Fallon? Oh, great. All right. Tim makes his one and only OST for Sega Genesis, and it's one of the best on the system. Thanks for recording and uploading this. Nice, polite YouTube comment. Too bad we don't have Tim Ballin here on the chart. Technosoft is peak Zoomer Boomer. Yeah, I feel like Technosoft is games. Practice coming along. I feel like Technosoft is games that like everyone is playing for the first time in the 2020s. You're not hearing a lot of people say like, oh yeah, I played Thunder Force 3 back in the day. So yeah, they're gonna go with this guy, I guess. I haven't really been looking at the pictures, but I think that fits. Garega Last Boss, what was that? I missed the context for that comment. Yeah, Fractal likes Thunder Force 6. He said it's one of the greatest. The bosses look cool from watching you play it. I was watching it on like a tiny 1-inch window on my phone while I was driving out of the corner of my eye, but in that perspective, it looked cool. Alright, next up, in reverse alphabetical order, we have Takumi. don't like these white logos on the white background. Yeah, I think that Takumi is probably... I don't really have a problem putting them in the soy Chad corner. Maybe a little bit more towards soy. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm supposed to be explaining what they made. Takumi made Twin Cobra 2. They made Gigawing. They made Gigawing 2. They made Gigawing Generations. They made Mars Matrix. Did I get it all? It killed your bitrate and crashed your stream? Oh, that's why you weren't on any... So I lost connection because I was way out in the woods. And then when my connection came back, I was like, what happened to the stream? I was like, well, I guess he went to bed. Nice. Love a crashed stream. That's how you know you're gaming hard. Who is Matt Furnace? Enlighten us. Yeah, your PC was probably overheating. Actually, you know what? Takumi is more like Fear and Loathing. I feel like kind of you're only gonna get gaslighted into playing those games. Taito. Again, we're just ranking these by the shooting games. Taito made Space Invaders. They made Gun Frontier. They made Metal Black. They made Darius 1. They made Darius 2. They made not Darius 3. They made Darius Gaiden. They made G-Darius, although we usually give credit for G-Darius to G-Rev around here. They made what's the one that I hate called? The one that's like Space Harrier but shit. Like, look, seriously, I haven't slept in 36 hours. That's why I'm like stumbling with names and stuff, because that affects your memory. Night Striker. That gave me shit. They made Layer Section, aka Ray Force, aka Gunlock, aka Galaxy Attack. I remember all the names for Ray Force. It's pretty impressive, right? They made Ray Storm. They made Ray Crisis. What else? They made that knockoff Batsugun game, Gekirian Den, or something like that. How is there a freaking ad in the middle of a 20-minute video? YouTube is a scam. They made Cybalion, one of the weirdest games of all time. They made Bubble Bobble, but not being ranked on that. They made Puzzle Bobble, but not being ranked on that. Okay, so anyway, Taito, this was one of the ones like Konami that's hard to rank, because they do have something for everyone. But they're definitely in, I feel like, the Chad Boomer quadrant. They're not that Chad, though, because of Gun Frontier. Because of Gun Frontier, they're gonna be put kind of like over here. You know what? Actually, this is gonna be our first crossover. They're for Chads, for Zoomers, and for Boomers. Frontier sucks. Rainbow Island. Yeah, Rainbow Islands. That's a fun game. And that would be up here. Probably right around Steve Urkel with Rainbow Suspenders. So where I put Rainbow Islands. They made Kadash. Not a shooting game. I was very clear that we're not ranking these by... Oh, Light Crusader. That was a treasure game I forgot. There you go. It sucks. That's why it makes you more Chad. I'm not following. Gun Frontier requires you to have like 16 different auto fire rates on your controller. Like, what nonsense. That is like, that is very Zoomer. Like CPS being like, oh, I play Castlevania with 30 hertz on the jump button. Like, it's Gun Frontier is that. You know what? They're getting moved over. They're for Zoomers now. Because I remembered about CPS. People love the auto fire rates. The numbers. 3.48 hertz auto fire. It's exciting. Next up, Success. Success made the Cotton series. I was close. I got 2 of the digits. Again, that's pretty good for 36 hours without sleeping. Wait, okay, when did I wake up? Yesterday. Like 2 p.m. yesterday. So yeah, we're at like almost... Yeah. No, we're not 36. We're at like 30 hours. Sorry, math is also hard when you haven't slept. Success. They made cotton. They made panorama cotton. Probably? I actually never checked, but I would assume they made panorama cotton. They made rainbow cotton. They made cotton rock and roll. They made cotton 100%. They made Sonvine. They made Savarier 2. What's the good what? Cotton? Cotton 1 is really good. And if you want to fractal it, then play the turbo version, the PC Engine version. But the arcade game, actually, you know, you were talking about looking for arcade games that are approachable for a 1cc, and I would say Cotton, the original Cotton Fantastic Night Dreams, would be an excellent starting point. Very approachable game, and like I said, you can learn it from the turbo version, and a lot of that knowledge is going to transfer, although they are different games for sure. I haven't really played the rest of the series, so I can't say. I just mostly played the PC Engine one because I just like PC Engine shooters so much. I know I go back and forth between saying Turbo and PC Engine, but I think all of us here know those are the same platform. Panorama Cotton is very cool. I just have not revisited that in a long time. That's on Switch, right? For like $8 or something? I should buy that. So I'm always playing Space Harrier on there. The Saturn one. Oh god, Cotton 2. I forgot about that. Okay. I hate to say it, but Success is pretty soy. You know, I love Sonvine as much as the next man, but they're also on the Zoomer side, I think. Especially because they're still making games. Like the Cotton series is still going. I don't know. Maybe a little into the chat, just like 1 pixel for Sonvine. I feel like I'm forgetting something else they made other than Sonvine, Savarier, and Cotton. Cotton 2, though, is really dragging them into deep into soy territory. Yeah, I don't really... So, the reason we did the first chart differently is, like, I don't really vibe with the soy Chad meme. I'm just doing my best here, alright? I'm doing what the people are asking for. Alright, if no one else can name a Success game, then next up we have SNK. So SNK caused a great controversy the last time we did this chart, because it was suggested that they never made a shooting game ever, which is definitely not true. We're struggling to name them. They made Last Resort. So there's that. We're not ranking them based on Metal Slug. That is an entirely different series. No, Blazing Star was made by Yume Kobo. We did go through all these. It was like Yume Kobo, aka ICOM, made Blazing Star and Pulse Star, as well as, I think Prehistoric Isle 2, but Prehistoric Isle 1 may have been SNK. I'm not ranking them based on Metal Slug 3. Metal Slug is its own thing. Let's see. Yeah, Prehistoric Isle 2. There's another one, Fractal. You want a approachable arcade 1cc? Prehistoric Isle 2 is great. And you can play the US, again, there's like an easier version. You can play the US version, you still get all the same content, but you get, I think, a few hit points in that one. Before you end, yeah, I'd like to revisit that. I'd kind of like to play that tonight if I can find it on the PCB shelf. So I can, you know, I'm going to stay up late tonight, so we probably will do at least 6 hours of streaming unless I literally pass out on the table, which I won't because I have a delicious black cherry vanilla energy beverage, which Life Finds a Way would be tying a noose right now if he saw that. On some Switch collection. Yeah, it's in Arcade Archives. Prehistoric Isle 2. Yeah, it's Prehistoric Isle. It's not Island. Oh, you have autocorrect. That's right. Can someone tell me who made Ironclad? I don't think it's SNK, but I would like to know. Let's see. SNK.
You just connect to it through the Shark Clean app, pair it with your phone, and now what it's going to do is...
Yeah, it's a horizontal with helicopters, which is quite rare. You know, the vertical horizontal shooter is a classic archetype, from Tiger Heli all the way to Twin Cobra 2.
The app itself, very simple.
All the way to Under Defeat.
For the sake of this video, I only mapped out my living room and my bedroom.
Saurus. Wait, is Saurus who made Prehistoric Isle 2? That sounds familiar. Because those are both games that use like pre-rendered 3D graphics. God, we're listening to goddamn ads again.
As well as what kind of cleaning you want it to do. So let's say I leave the house for work on...
Friggin' 12 minutes into the video, we're just going to autoplay a 2-minute long ad. Awesome. Saurus made Prehistoric Isle 2. Wow, I'm like the king of shooting games here. Look at all this incredible trivia we're learning. Co-developed by Saurus and Yume Kobo. Yeah, but I think SNK was EH1. I don't have any opinion on that at all. Yeah, I'm getting free YouTube Premium for broadcasting the ads. So I've decided we're going to rank SNK based on Metal Slug series. And because of that, they're going to go here. That is pretty much the most autistic series in existence. Next up, Saibu Kaihatsu. Saibu Kaihatsu is the Raiden company. They made Raiden 1, Raiden 2, Raiden DX, Raiden Fighters, Viper Phase 1, Raiden Fighters 2, Raiden Fighters Jet. BAF is very obsessed with Raiden DX and Raiden Fighters. We were dropping some crazy Raiden Fighters trivia on, Raiden DX trivia on CPS's stream earlier. So everyone go give a shout out to CPS. One of the true Raiden masters, probably the most respectable Raiden player I know. Oh, shut up, more salty. Who asked you? How related is Moss to Saibu Kaihatsu? We're not there yet. Oh boy, here, what, did someone end the shooting game stream? Is that why people are here now? Did someone just finish practicing Ketsui, Omote, loop? Toa on Soys. Now we're done with Toa Plan. That's over now. We're doing Saibu Kaihatsu now. We're ranking them solely based on Viper Phase 1, which no one plays. Saibu, yeah, they're like, for boomers, like lightly Chad. I think medium, Chad, because they are really hard games. The thing is that everyone enjoys Raiden. Everyone wants to play Raiden, but no one can get past stage 2. And there's also the problem with, like, purple doesn't work, right? Well, it's too weak. You know, if someone wants to come up and show me a Raiden DX purple only clear, then we can get Saibu over here. But until that happens, they're just going to sit in the middle. I don't know what a Terry picture is. So, no, we didn't get cute. We're gonna write in cute because Baff and I, don't worry, we did try. We could not find a logo for them. If you have toothpaste in your shooting game, they will want to play it. Dude, dentists? Sega is absolutely the most Chad company ever. That's really all there is to say. Rising. Sucks. Psycho. Wait, that's not where Rising belongs. No, yeah, it is. My bad. Sorry, guys. Okay, Psycho. We have another ad. How many ads are there going to be in this 20-minute video? I can't give OBS a premium account here. I don't know who Jeng is. What is this? More Korea talk? Koreans have been the talk of the town lately. Whatever. Psycho. Let's see. Psycho, you know, this was in the retired fighting game category before, because they are a big casual developer. Like, you may mistakenly think that they are for hardcore players because, like, they're really hard games to 1cc, but that's no one that plays them 1cc's them. They're casual games. So these axes are starting to annoy me now. I would say, yeah, because they're casual, they're going to go right on the other side of Video System. Yeah, this is actually good because Video System is definitely more Chad than Psycho. They're both about the same level as Soy. Because of the ecchi stuff, I don't know, it's weird. Everyone always talks about, like, oh, they're like Strikers 1949. That's the game with all the naked women in it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I played like 100 hours of that game, and then it's like, oh man, haha, you never 1cc'd it, and it's like, yeah, neither did you. You watched the YouTube video. Alright, NMK. Oh, I didn't say what game Psycho made. Psycho made Strikers, they made Sengoku Ace, they made Tengai, aka Sengoku Ace, Sengoku Blade. And Sengoku Aces, aka Samurai Aces. They made Strikers 1945 2, Strikers 1945 3, Dragon Blaze, Soul Divide. I like Soul Divide. Wait, hang on. We gotta go back. Alright. Because I remembered Soul Divide, Psychos get moved over to the Chad side. That is a sick game. Want to see a monkey beat monkey difficulty? Yeah, they have very fake. That's like the proof that they're casual games. That the super fake difficulty levels. Wait, what other Psycho games? I forget. There's Sengoku Cannon. Talk about a game no one plays. There's Zero Gunner and Zero Gunner 2. Again, games no one plays. Salty, what's your take on? Give us a take on Zero Gunner. Oh, they made Cannon Spike. Okay. You know what? They've just got moved even further into Chad because they made Cannon Spike. Yeah, Psycho is a complicated company to rank. That's why it's important that we list all the games. Yeah, no, Zero Gunner 2 like got a port, and then everyone said the port was really bad and don't play it. It ruins the game. It is not even a port. It's like a remake, something. And I was like, this is all just making me lose interest in a game that's probably 15 minutes long. Oh, they made Gunbird. They made Gunbird 2. They made Gunbarich, which is a god-awful game. Actually, they're getting moved a little bit farther into soy because they made Gumbarich. Alright. There's Psycho. That was a tough one, but we solved it. NMK. Okay, NMK made Thunder Dragon. They made Thunder Dragon 2. They made Zed Blade. They made gun something. For those who joined us in the last 10 minutes, I haven't slept in like 36 hours, so that's why I'm kind of stumbling over words and stuff. We're just doing our best. I feel like I need to make excuses to prove that I'm not PR, aka profoundly R. The medical condition. Yeah, they made Hacha Mecha Fighter. That's one no one's playing. They made P47 Aces, right? They made USAAF Mustang, probably. Okay, so okay, P47 Aces is a nice soundtrack, and since I believe we're getting more ads, we're just gonna go ahead and switch music here. Yeah, this is an ad for like ropes or something. Everything should be for dads except Toho. You missed that. We did that one last week, Fogmanatic. Weren't you here when we did the last alignment chart? That was where we ranked it from dads to granddads. I thought that was clever. It was very underappreciated in the community. There was widespread criticism of what I did with that alignment chart. Okay, also this game's made by Jalico, not by NMK. Or was it published by Jalico, maybe? Last time I was here was Cookies. Yeah, I don't know if that was when we were playing Stretch Panic or what. Yeah, thanks. It was already pointed out that the OST is good. We just put it on. Anyway, is P47 Aces Jalico or is it NMK? No, Jalico is not NMK. Jalico is a totally different company, but they may have published it. You guys are the worst AI lookup chat GPTs in the world. Just, is it NMK or is it Jalico? Didn't ask about Game Tengoku. We're not ranking Jalico right now. It's NMK. Thank you, Salty. Still not asking for your opinions, but thank you for your facts. It was confusing because of this image that I'm showing you right here on the soundtrack. No thank you, Golem. You are way too late on that. Yeah, published. Okay, anyway. NMK, they made the game. Did they make USAAF Mustang? We don't have time in the night to wait for the answer to that question. But we're ranking them mostly based on like Thunder Dragon 2, because that's the one that everyone plays. And Thunder Dragon 2 is like pretty Chad. It's a tough game, but it's very well designed. It feels repetitive at first, but then you realize that like every layout is distinct. A lot of things look similar, but there's like a really good amount of variation in each enemy type, and then the game kind of sets them aside and moves on to something else. And it's a really good pace with strong type enemies too. It's reminiscent of Tatsujin, aka Truxton, in that it has the mid gangs, like enemies that are too weak to be really considered mid-bosses, and they're repeated, but also stronger than a normal enemy because they stay around on the screen for like 10 seconds or more. I like that concept. I feel like it's the ones that exist in Tansujin aren't that great, but the ones that are in Thunder Dragon 2 are really good. USAF Mustang is a horizontally scrolling shooter arcade game originally developed by NMK, published by UPL in 1990. Okay, yeah, someone complained that UPL wasn't here last time, and I don't care. Alright, NMK, this quadrant is running out of space, so NMK is, I guess they're more boomer than Chad, but they're also a little bit zoomer is the thing. Because these are games, again, this is kind of like what I was saying with Technosoft, where these are games that are largely being accessed through emulation that no one remembers from back in the day. Obscure games. Game Tengoku, yeah, I know, Game Tengoku, thank you. Wait till we get to J. Alright, I'm leaving NMK there because I just can't be bothered to debate it any longer. Nichibutsu. Just, no, who cares? I think this guy would play Nichibutsu. You know it, brah. Try defeating Bubble Bobble seems like the kind of thing that would be fun on Wii. Well, that's what I did when I was like 3 years old. I played Bubble Bobble on NES and was like, this game is the greatest thing in the world. So I guess that's kind of like being high. Alright, we got Namco. The infamous Namco. They made Space Invader. No, they didn't make Space Invaders. They made Galaxian. They made Galaga. They made Gaplus. They made Xevious. They made a bunch of other versions of Xevious. They made Space Invaders 91. They made... No, Taito made Space Invaders. They made... No, Legendary Wings is Capcom. Phelios, that's what I'm looking for. They made Dragon Spirit. They made Dragon Saber. They made... FA Attacker. No, Fighter / Attacker. That's what it's called. Yeah, no one likes him. Except for Galaga. So yeah, these guys are definitely in like the Nichibutsu category. They made Sky Kid. How many games of Sky in the name? Yeah, this is kind of like the no one cares corner. Namco, Visco, Nichibutsu. It's kind of sad that Namco is getting there, but our ranking is based on shooting games, and other than Galaga, they just don't have a great output, even though they were one of the major arcade companies. Okay, Moss. No, I'd play Nichibutsu before I'd play Namco. Nichibutsu, wait, they made Terra Cresta, right? Hang on. If they made Terra Cresta, then Nichibutsu's getting moved over. Okay, Terra Cresta is a good game. That's a very cool game, especially for its age. Okay, Moss. I don't know anything about that game, Salty. Sorry. I've not watched really any of the videos on your YouTube channel except for Eschatos ones. I'll probably watch something else at some point, but it's really just the Eschatos ones. Oh yeah, we went over Q. So Q doesn't have a logo. Hang on. Let's get rid of Moss. We don't want to go out of order here. Alright, so cute as far as the leading scientific minds can determine does not have a logo. Which really can't be right, but that's where we are here. Look, if you find it and DM it to me on Discord, then I will add it. No, I won't actually. We're just gonna use this. Oh, you know why it's light? You know who? Guess. Guess who said Cute doesn't have a logo? Just guess. Guess where that information came from. Yeah, I'm not opening a browser. I am risking crashing the entire stream and bringing this whole operation to a standstill for a logo. We're just going to go with the word cute. Cute is toy. Why you always on the cap? What? About Cute logo? That's what Bath told me. He's the one that got me these logos. When I said, can you get Cute for me? Yeah, and he said, no, I can't. I don't know. I mean, I kind of knew in my heart that Cute had to have a logo, but I just didn't, like, he's a very helpful person, and I didn't want really to spend any more time on trying to find these than I had to. And yeah. Especially after the stream ended up being late. I can't freaking move it. Alright, Cute. Just gonna get a cute little placement in the middle, because I feel like they're for soy boomers. Very soy boomer company.
But now, with Metro, existing customers can get the same
More
rate
ads.
as new customers.
Sorry, there's a lot of things we could do to get rid of those, but again, it's too much to do. Titles for the Zoomer Boomers for sure. That was based on Gun Frontier dragging them into the Zoomers, and Ray Crisis dragging them into Boomers. Huh. Yeah, Boom and Zoomers. Look, Fogmanatic, you can't come in 10 hours after we ranked Taito and listed every shooting game we made by them, and then say to me that I didn't mention a Darius game. You didn't listen, because you weren't here. What we have VODs for? We mentioned Darius, we mentioned G-Darius, we mentioned Darius 2, we mentioned Darius Gaiden, we didn't mention whatever the Game Boy Darius is, but I'll mention that for you now, because you want something mentioned. There's the Game Boy Darius. There's Darius Advance. There's Darius Burst Chronicles AC. I don't know if that's... I don't know who developed that. I have a tough time considering that a Taito game, since I'm sure there's no relationship between the original developers of that series. Space Invaders Enemy Gene, Space Invaders Extreme, Space Invaders versus Arkanoid, the game that you can buy on Switch but can't play on Switch, Space Invaders 91, Space Invaders DX, the color version of Space Invaders, Space Invaders 93 or something. What else? What other Space Invaders? There's so many of them. Oh, Pyramid, okay. Alright, fill in the blank with your favorite Space Invaders game. You're lucky we don't have a mod here with all those mentions of Game Tengoku. That's all I'm gonna say. You are very, very lucky that D King drinks himself into a coma every Friday night. Alright, what's next? Moss. We were doing Moss. Ad layer. Moss. Moss is the company that made the rest of the Raiden series. They made Raiden 3, Raiden 4, Raiden 5. Caladrius Blaze. Dragon made something. What else? I'm forgetting something. Okay, anyway, Moss is... I think they're pretty Chad Soy. Yeah, I think that this is like... Moss is probably going up around here. Because of the Raiden 5 storyline. You know, they have to be somewhat into the soy because of Caladrius and just fucking Dragon Maid. Whatever that shit is. Weren't they working on some like new Robotech game or something? Sorry, Macross. Alright, there's Moss. Why are they named after a mushy plant? Yeah, Moss is not a great name, I'll gotta be honest. Yeah, one thing you gotta give to Rising, as bad as they were, is they had a great logo and a great name. They sound cool. Milestone. Yeah, Milestone is pretty confidently in this corner. Maybe they're like a little bit. I feel like they're the Rainbow Steve Urkel. Because I feel like I've never seen a photograph of M. Night, but I assume that this picture of Steve Urkel is what he looks like. That's always how I pictured him in my head. Sounds cool but aren't cool. A true tragedy. Yeah, and Moss sounds stupid but is cool. If you guys want to rank them, the names by how cool they sound, go ahead and get started, and we'll continue that after this chart is done. Go ahead and get your preliminary rankings in there. For a second I thought that was an ad for Death Smiles. Yeah, everyone click on that link. Next up, Konami. I'm getting winded. Why do I feel like this is taking so much longer than last time? Konami is for... last time we copped out and said they're for everyone. They're pretty Chad, though. I feel like they're the CPS company. And this is pretty much... This is CPS right up here. If you've never seen CPS, well, if you have seen CPS, you recognize him in that image. Kaneko, a weird one. They made Cyvern. They made some game that Baff's gonna chime in and say that I forget. They made Super Star Soldier. It's just like Super Star Soldier and Cyvern are so different that I just have no idea what to do with this company. Like, it's very hard to have an opinion about them as a company. Because I know Bath puts them on here thinking of Cyvern, but like all I think of is Super Star Soldier, which I've spent an enormous amount of time playing. It's one of the greatest games from that generation. Yeah, of course. Super Star Soldier is where Compile blends into the Star Soldier series. It's basically Blazing Lasers plus Star Soldier. The power-up system, the speed system. I mean, the thing is, Compile influenced the entire library of PC Engine shooters, basically. Like, they kind of set the style for what PC Engine games would be, which all take after Alesta to some degree. So yeah, like, you also could just say it's Star Soldier, but for PC Engine, because for PC Engine is like saying it has compile influence. Yatsubane, I don't know who that is. So Kaneko, let's just look at the pictures here. This tired old muscly man, I think, is where Kaneko belongs. Now, who's Yatsubane? We really only have arcade devs here. Like, we started with only arcade devs. I had to add in some console devs.
Progress.
Oh my god, how is there another ad already?
Get out of bed each morning.
I'm freaking calling Bill Gates tomorrow. Oh yeah, about 2 hours ago, Salty said that treasure should be more in soy, and I really have no idea what his point was there. Bap, get Salty back to explain what his point was about treasure being more in soy. What, because Radiant Silvergun? Oh, the Crimson Clover dev. We can't be ranking devs based on one game. That's ridiculous. Here we go. Look, say it. Say it. You're allowed to say it now. Say what you want to say. No? Are you, maybe you're lagging behind me. Yeah, those are the same game though. Okay, I'll say it for you. Game Tengoku. Jellicoe made Game Tengoku. Didn't they make Plus Alpha? That's Jellicoe, right? I forgot about that last time. Just like how Psycho has the casual soy factor, so does Treasure. What, the Ikaruga you mean? And like Radiant Silvergun? Those ones? I think that's covered by boomers, though. I feel like Ikaruga is more of a boomer enthusiasm game than it is a soy enthusiasm game. It's like, oh, I remember when Ikaruga. Yeah. I'm pretending right now that I owned a Dreamcast and had that game and played it on Dreamcast, and it's giving me incredible nostalgia. I remember playing to only stage 2. Radiant Silvergun has soy factor. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I will take your word for it, but I never hear anyone talk about that game except for BAF and EC. I feel like it's too complicated, no one wants to learn how to play it, and basically no one likes it. Well, it makes a bad first impression. That's all I can say, because it made a bad first impression on me, and I was like, I'll play this like 10 years in the future, and we're not yet 10 years in the future. We're maybe 8 years in the future now from when I said that. You did have a Dreamcast, and you did play Ikaruga on it. Unbelievable. You played Game Tengoku on it, too? Ikaruga, that came out in the West on Dreamcast? Ikaruga? Really? Or did you just have, like, everyone had a burn disc with every Dream... Or, yeah. It was easy to pirate for Dreamcast. They 99cc the story mode? Yeah, but I bet they don't even pay attention to the story. Imagine playing Sin and Punishment and not knowing the story. Imagine playing Alien Soldier and not knowing a bunch of stupid lore that's not even in the game. I hate when people bring up the lore for Alien Soldier. I don't care. It's not in the game. It's just, it's all concept work. Alright, Jellicoe. I'm just gonna rank them based on Plus Alpha. They're really not much of anything. They're near the middle here. Plus Alpha is a really fun game that runs at 15. Is that what its frame rate is? 15 frames per second? 15 hertz? I know, it's good. It's their best game across the board, I think. I don't think they have a single good game other than that. You know, let's bring up... We're doing this is round 2, so we can do some of these deep dives here. So let's bring up the list of games developed by Jalico. According to Wikipedia, which is known to be terribly inaccurate when it comes to game developers. Also, they're a publisher, and Wikipedia is even worse at separating the difference between a publisher, developer, and distributor. Hang on, ads. All these stupid YouTube ads are just confirming to me that I made the right choice in unaffiliating this channel. Alright. Oh yeah, they made the Ninjaja Maru-kun series of games, which are all pretty weak, except for the first one. And that is just good for its day. Not really that interesting. They published Voltric, it was developed by an MK, so I guess they published multiple NMK games. What is Argus, developed by NMK? What is this? What's on Arcade Archives? I'm just gonna keep reading Salty's last comment of their best game for every game in this Jalico list. Oh yeah, Argus, that was their best game. I don't know if we can do a double YouTube here. This is not gonna be good for the PC. Now, I've watched this video before, and it's the Paul Eels playthrough. Okay, it's a Zevius clone. Yeah. Early Zevius clone. Legend of Makai. A platformer by NMK. This looks rough. Alien Command, Rodland, 64th Street, a detective story. Oh, EDF. I don't know EDF. I only really know Super EDF. Super EDF is perfectly okay. It has the parallel weapon leveling system like Override or Radiant Silvergun. It's a proto-Radiant Silvergun. Argus 2-Alls on par with a Ketsui Aura, according to the list. Like, who? Who is judging that? Like, how many people have done either one of those things, let alone both of those things? Like, who is voting here? Oh, Psy Battler. That's a pretty cool game. Yeah, I know the list. I think I have the list bookmarked here. Yeah, here it is. Look how big this folder of shooting game bookmarks is. I'm a true fan. 2014 interview with developers of Fantasy Zone. Fantasy Zone Daddy Issues twist. The making of Gunstar Heroes. We're working through the Jalico list right now, Fractal. That's where we are. Oh, Peekaboo, 1993 erotic game. Cool.
You're still great, Grandpa.
See?
Alright, this soundtrack is basically over, so we need another one. Throw me a soundtrack, someone. Here, we're just gonna put on the Argus. Desert War. No. Back up. Come on, I'm looking for deep cuts here. I mean, in fairness, last week we listened to the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack, which I don't think technically qualifies as a deep cut, but I hadn't heard I Am the Eggman in a long time. Alright, sorry guys, we're gonna see what the Argus soundtrack is. It's probably... Oh shit, these tracks are all 6 seconds long, never mind. Desert War it is. Oh great, that's too generic. What is Desert War 4, Greg? I don't know what Hector 1989 is. Desert. Because we can't scroll down here, so it has to be like the first result. Okay, this might have like a playlist link. Doesn't. Oh, we could do ultimate card games here. Let's do ultimate card games. This is a more salty classic. I don't know if that's what it's called. No Pictionary. Not today. Alright. Anyway. Look, Game Tengoku is in... We've got the 43 difficulty on the ultimate list. The one and only objective, true, word of God list of arcade 1cc difficulty for shooting games. We've got 45 and 44, the highest levels, who cares? At 43 we have Ketsui. Yeah, Ketsui, love it. 2 all Aura. We got Argus. We got Omega Fighter, and we got Game Tengoku. So, because Argus was developed by NMK, but it was published by Jalico, so Jalico has really hit the 43 twice, which kind of makes him a more hardcore shooting game developer than Cave. Also, UPL made Omega Fighter, which is a pretty interesting game, so they kind of actually do deserve to be on the list, but it's too late. Anyway, we're not looking at the list. We are not going down that road. I'm tired of Jalico. Moving on. At some point, I'd love to play video games. Jalico is going exactly where I left them. IRAM, the developer of In the Hunt. And... Armed Police Vehicle Gallop? Is that what that game's called? Undercover Cops. And Hook. Beat 'em up. Yeah, they made R-Type Leo. They didn't make R-Type Final 2 or Final 3. Maybe they made R-Type Tactics, although I think that was probably Granzella. Alright. IRAM, again. They made Steambot Chronicles. It's a great game. That game has a good soundtrack. It's like Armored Core for female weaves. Yeah, IRAM, again, like they have pretty general appeal, like Taito and Video System. So they're going near the center. They're in the Chad Boomer quadrant, kind of obviously. I don't know. I feel like this ranking, this one is obvious. Okay, IGS. No idea who IGS is. That layer gets deleted. Still don't know, even though we answered that question last week. Hudson, the B guys. We're gonna rank them based on Adventure Island, just for whimsy. Which is, yeah, that's right over here near Sega. Just on the basis of Adventure Island. Which, I mean, it is a Sega game. What am I saying? Adventure Island is Wonder Boy. It's a reskinned Wonder Boy. So, of course, they're just mini Sega. Even their logo is the same color. I just made Knights of Valor game. Oh yeah, Oriental Legend. I remember Bass saying that and thinking, I don't know. Okay, they made Demon Front. That's the Metal Slug knockoff. See no point in ranking them. G-Rev. Let's see. G-Rev made. We're gonna give him G-Darius. Border Down. Under Defeat. Strania. Memorikun Curse.
What's the hold up?
Kokuga.
Arrangements. Some families have a long line.
We're never doing YouTube music again. This is a nightmare. Yeah, G-Rev made Border Down. Not many people know that. But that is a game that is begging for a port. Border Up and Above Defeat. Yeah, that was almost the name of those games. Border Up. I barely know her up. Okay, so I guess they should go near the border. I feel like Memorikun Curse and the pilots for Under Defeat definitely are dragging this into soy territory. Even though they are like a fairly Chad company, you know, G-Darius is kind of pretty widely considered the greatest shooting game of all time, the game with the most depth and longevity. Kind of the game that anyone who really takes a serious interest in shooting games and wants to put a lot of time into is going to immediately be drawn to. It's like what Battle Garega wants to be. It's like, you know, plus alpha is to 1943. Sorry to go all analogy SAT on you guys. Plus alpha is to 1943 as Battle Garega is to G-Darius. I wasn't keeping up. I don't know what Fractal said no to. G-Darius has a very non-sexual female pilot. Well, she's just kind of like a Eva character. But you've got version 1 of G-Darius. You have version 2 of G-Darius. You play with slowdown. You play without slowdown. You got the console port. You got the HD remaster. Yeah, but look at the pilots for Under Defeat. I really don't like them. They're like classic anime Nazis. Look, man, not everything can be where we want it to be. And also look at Memorikun Curse. If you don't know that game, like we cannot, you know, you can bargain them down a little bit, but we cannot take them off the soy axis. And trust me, G-Rev is one of my favorites, but we cannot take them off the soy axis when they made Memorikun Curse. Yeah, lesbian Nazis. That is the perfect description of what's the name for lesbian hentai or manga or something? You know how yaoi is the gay ones? What's the lesbian version of that? Because that plus Nazi. Yuri. Okay. Noted that we got 2 really fast Yuris there. Yuri Nazi. That sounds pretty good. That actually just sounds like it could be a like a Japanese word. sentence. Yeah, I know, Fractal. Look, you didn't even have to. Golem had already said it. It hurts. You could have gotten away with not knowing it. Anyway, again, you guys really, Alright, I'm gonna bring up American Curse, because I'm getting the vibe that you guys don't know this game. This is one of G-Rev's last games. It was PS3 only. I think it was a downloadable only game as well. I don't know if it had a physical release. But yeah, just take a glance at this artwork. Oh, maybe it was on 360 in Japan. I don't know. All I know is I played it on PS3. Yes, sorry, I played this game because it was G-Rev. It's like the Shikigami guys who played Sisters Royale. It's embarrassing, but the game's okay. It's like Pocky and Rocky. I did not play Kokuga, and I don't even know how I would anymore. "10-minute gameplay sample." So it has a bunch of different characters who all have sort of different aiming types. I mean, it's good. I didn't spend a lot of time playing it, more so because it was on PS3, and I never really spent a ton of time playing PS3 than for any other reason. But it's got an interesting sort of chaos field system where you can go into curse mode, and that, I don't know, gives you more point items, but also makes enemies more aggressive. It's like one of those difficulty versus tactile reward type systems. It's pretty concrete. Remember when we started Remake 3 times because of your PlayStation 3? Yeah, I do. I remember also I played it. I had to restart it another time on top of those ones. Remake of what? It was worth it though, because we got all the Crimson Heads right. We scouted it out. We were just fucking nailing Crimson Heads. We knew where the shotgun was, or we knew where the broken shotgun was already. We didn't have to go through all that again. Anyway, I don't think there's a PC version of American Curse, but hopefully you all can see why I just cannot take G-Rev out of the soy category. Alright, we're almost at the beginning of the alphabet. We're like 3/4 of the way there. Next up, Gazelle. Gazelle made Air Gallet. That's pretty much it. I think this kind of just goes in the middle. Sorry to challenge your better judgment. You know what? You're forgiven, and we need you guys. I need you guys here to challenge my judgment, because sometimes I do make rash decisions. But so far, I haven't made any of those tonight. My judgment has been spot on once again. Yeah, I mean, Gazelle basically, like, pretty much is the Chad guy. Next up, Data East. R-Type Final 2 though. Where you hit me with R-Type Final 2? Are you still watching the part of the video where we were talking about IRAM? Did Gazelle work on R-Type Final 2? You mean Granzella? There's no way you mean Granzella. You're not that stupid. The air conditioners, yeah, that's a nightmare part in Air Gallet. I game is very aggressive, but it's so well paced. Salty, how have you not cleared Air Gal yet? What are you doing? It's gonna be a 3-day game for you. Wabby cleared it on his first credit. I was able to get to the final boss after like 80 hours of practice, so that should tell you how easy it is. Okay, Data East sucks. Who is playing Data East games? Like, we all know. Yeah, I guess Data East is down here. Damn it, you had to come in and say Chelnov. Oh, you had to say Chelnov. That hurts. Couldn't let me forget about it. It is a very sick game. Hey, Jerry. I feel like I had something to tell you, but thanks for your words of support. It's always appreciated. I was talking about playing keyboard fighting games earlier. I don't think that's what I was trying to remember, but it's out there. Okay, Data East. Whatever, they're still in that corner. That's me playing Chelnov and Malone. Down there. I'm not even good at Chelnov, and I don't play the arcade version. Here's a fan favorite, Compile. R-Type Final 3 is actually pretty good. Isn't R-Type Final 3 just R-Type Final 2 re-released with all the DLC already purchased? Karnov rocks. I never really played Karnov. It looks like absolute garbage, but you know, I can't make that call on a game that I literally haven't played, so maybe it's good. You never know. Is Compile the only game developer named after a programming term? You could stretch your imagination and say Milestone is, because in the software development process, there are milestones. It's not really, I don't know if that's a programming term, but it is an engineering term. Toaplan, planning, again. Technosoft, technology, software. Yeah, Technosoft. That does count. Karnov is jank, but the jank is funny. Okay, well, yeah. I guess that's the vibe. Jank is the vibe I was getting, so at least you're agreeing with that. There's a new campaign exclusive to R-Type Final 3. Okay, so it just is like a new game, but it includes R-Type Final 2. I can't be bothered. I didn't even play R-Type Final 1. Barely even played R-Type 2. Alright, Compile, they did, I forgot, we're supposed to be listing all the games they made. They did Alesta, they did Alesta 2, they did GG Alesta, they did GG Alesta 2, they did Musha Alesta, they did Seirei Senshi Spriggan, they did Gunhead, aka Blazing Lasers, they did Gunnack, they did Zanak, they did the MSX version of Zanak. They did Zanak EX, which is the MSX2 port of the NES Zanak back on MSX. It's garbage. Forget it exists. They did Gardic. Really bad game. They did Power Strike 2. They did Super Alesta. They did Zanak X Zanak, or Zanak Neo. Yeah, we got Gunnack. They did millions and millions more games. There's kind of like 2 generations of Compile. Sylphia. There's like the first generation that made everything up through Alesta, and then there's the second generation that made everything from Alesta to Seirei Senshi Spriggan. Or sorry, Alesta 2 to Seirei Senshi Spriggan, which is more the generation I care about. Although I really like Xanac. From the first generation games that were programmed by Mu, second generation games were programmed by Yuichi Toyama. Went on to join Rising and program Sorcerer Striker, aka Maho Daisakusen, Kingdom Grand Prix, aka Shippu Maho Daisakusen, and Sokyo Gurentai, aka Terra Diver. Well, it's not really two generations of Rising. They were two parallel teams. But yeah, it's the same thing where, like, yeah, there were two basically dev teams. But with Compile, like, Mu basically retired from programming, and then Yuichi Toyama took over. Oh, Compile invented real-time strategy games with, what's that game called? You guys know what I'm talking about. No, that was Technosoft, not Compile. What's the game I'm talking about? The one that invented real-time strategy games. Sucky Grunty. Herzog Spy and Herzog, that's what I was looking for, yeah. They did the treasure thing where they did contract work to fund their own stuff. Compile? What contract work, or what do you mean? Like Poyo? Yeah, also they did Poyo, which is what kept them alive after they stopped making shooting games. It made Ghostbusters. Oh, is that a licensed game that they made? A bunch of ports. Yeah. Yeah, nothing's coming to mind. Oh, also, they did a Space Harrier clone too. One that I haven't played. Again, tell me what it's called. The Space Harrier clone they made. It's very early. It's for MSX, I think. Alright, while you guys figure out what game I'm talking about, I need to get another drink. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry. I had to excuse myself until the compile rising topic blew over. Although I spent a lot of time studying that myself, I'm so tired of it at the moment. Wait, I didn't actually place compile. I was just putting them somewhere where it was readable. You know what? It's good though. They're staying there. Alright, we gotta blow through the rest of this. We're once again doing the thing where we don't ever get to the game that I want to play. By the way, I got a snickerdoodle cookie. It was purchased at the Amish market. You can get some of the most enjoyable baked goods in the greater Baltimore area. I'm complaining about compile, but I was the one that asked BAF to add it. Alright. Now. Dave. Yep. For Chads and Soys alike. They made guange, but they also made pink sweets. They made Doronpachi, but they also made Doronpachi Daifukatsu. They made Akai Katana, but they also made Death Smiles. They made Dangun Feveron, but they also made Muchi Muchi Pork. Another company that had 2 lead programmers, Tsuneki Ikeda and I never remember what Yagawa's first name is. Given name. Yagawa joined the company later after Rising collapsed. Or transformed into aiding or whatever. Yagawa was responsible for the bad games at Cave. Ibarra, Pink Sweets. I don't know. I don't play Pink Sweets and Muchi Muchi Pork. I don't think they're bad. They look decent. Just not on my list. And also some of Akai Katana. That game was split between the 2 of them. So yeah, they're definitely full Chad and full Soy. I think that's a pretty easy one to rank. They don't really go on the Zoomer Boomer axis because, as we mentioned last time, everyone plays cave games. They're the most popular company in the genre. Capcom, we just got like 2 or 3 more to go. Capcom is for... Okay, wait. Capcom made the 1942 series. So 1942, 1943, 1941 Counterattack, 19XDX, 1943 The Battle for Valhalla, 1944 The Loop Master, UN Squadron, Area 88, U.S. Navy. I don't remember which of the, or Carrier Air Wing. I don't remember which of those refers to which. I think Area 88 and UN Squadron are the SNES version, and Carrier Air Wing and U.S. Navy are the arcade version. We're gonna give them Makai Mora, aka Ghosts and Goblins, aka Ghouls and Ghosts. Well, Die Makai Mora, Ghouls and Ghosts. We're not gonna give him Magic Sword. We're gonna give him Tower of Doom. We're not gonna give him Shadow over Mystara. Yeah, so Capcom, I think, is more Chad than Boomer. So I think probably go about here. Yeah, same neighborhood as Treasure, Sega. Makes sense. They made Legendary Wings. They made Section Z. They made Hyperdyne Sidearms. They made Savage Bees. I think aka X's. I think those are different game or the same game. They made Varth. They published Giggling and Pro Gear. Yeah, they made a lot of games. In a lot of different eras. Next up is Bomb Presto, and this is one that was hotly debated last time because it was pointed out that Bath probably didn't understand what he was doing and thought that Bomb Presto made Air Gallet, but then it was pointed out that counter to that, Bomb Presto did actually develop some shooting games. I'm taking this on the word of chat, who has been very accurate so far. Mazinger Z and I don't know, something else. They are in pretty hard boomer territory. They made Mazinger Z. Athena, they made Dio. I just don't care. That is, I think I can gauge by the fact that how little I care about Athena that they belong here, because I feel like the hard zoomer axis is the place that I least connect with, so we haven't really put many games over there. Across Plus, yeah, I knew it was something else licensed. Alright, Alpha System. Oh, why did it lock up? Okay, Alpha System. Alpha System is right with Takumi. Pretty Fear and Loathing. It's got something for the soys, it's got something for the chads, it's got something for the hardcore gamers. Doesn't have much for the casuals. Casuals are really not going to get much. Oh, Alpha System made primarily Castle Shikigami 1, Castle Shikigami 2, Castle Shikigami 3, aka Shikigami no Shiro. They made Sisters Royale, which I don't know anything about, but I've heard is basically Castle Shikigami 4. They made some kind of random assorted older games. Like, they had been around for a long time when they made Castle Shikigami in, I think, 2001. They made Download and Download 2 on PC Engine. Download is really good. Nothing at all like Shikigami, but really good. Download 2 I've heard is also good, but I haven't played it. Probably some other stuff. And last, thank God, we're done. We still have enough time left to play. Why is it locking up again? Still have enough time left to play Stretch Panic. 80K, Alpha Denshi. We learned today that they made Ninja Commando, a game that was kind of tough to get going with. I feel like this is a Zoomer Boomer company. No one played it back in the day, but they're aware of it because of ports. Now, we found out some other games they made last time. I just don't care. Yeah, Twinkle Star Sprites, there you go. Friffon plays Twinkle Star Sprites. That guy's peak Zoomer Boomer. Jamers, he's peak Zoomer Boomer. Only 2 people to ever play that game. Or probably EC plays it.